All right. So just to begin with, it looks like we have about 10 people here in addition to the outreach team. That's an awesome turnout. That was a little bit bigger than I was expecting, actually. So that's great. But we're going to start with just doing a quick round of introductions, because our goal for the Campus Liaison program, as you're going to hear, is that it'll be an opportunity for graduate student members of Division K at different institutions to network with each other, as well as to learn more about the division. So this is an opportunity for you all to, you have motion sensor lights, Lindsay? So this is an opportunity for you all to meet each other for the first time. So the outreach team will start. We're just going to say who we are, the institution where we're located, and what we study. So I'll start. My name is Rebecca Gadd. As I said before, I am one of the co-chairs for the Community Service and Outreach team for the Division K Graduate Student Executive Board. This is my second year in that role. And I am at the University of Michigan. I'm a doctoral candidate in teaching and teacher education. So Glenda or Lindsay, one of you would like to go next?
Okay, I'll go ahead. My name is Glenda Chisholm. I am at Georgia State University. I study teaching and teacher education here also, and I am a co-chair of the community service and outreach team as well.
There we go. Hi, I'm Lindsay Stewart. I also serve on the team as a co-chair, and it's my second year as a PhD student at Louisiana State University in Baton Rouge, and I'm studying curriculum and instruction.
Okay, so if we could just go through our participants, and if you all could say very quickly your name, the institution you're at or where you're located, and what you're studying.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sian. I'm at the University of Connecticut, and I'm a third-year doctoral student in curriculum and instruction and teacher ed.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lucas Vasconcelos. I am a PhD student in Learning Design and Technology at the University of Georgia.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Sorry,
go ahead. Okay. I'm Marissa Ferraro. Oh, sorry. I'm Marissa Ferraro. I am in my fourth semester of the MAT program at Quinnipiac University in Connecticut.
Everyone, I'm Jackie. I am in the Doctoral of Educational Leadership at Drexel University in Philadelphia.
Hi, I'm PJ Malachias. You probably can't see me. I'm working on my video as we speak, but I am in the dissertation phase of my doctoral work in administrative leadership, specifically mathematics leadership at Shenandoah University, and that's located just outside of DC in Virginia.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sam Hariff at the University of South Florida. I'm a PhD student in the teacher education program.
Hi, everyone. My name is Megan McDermott. I'm a first-year PhD student at the University of Michigan studying teaching and teacher education.
And we had one come in via chat, AJ Tierney, who is at Oklahoma State University studying educational psychology in a PhD program. Or mic is not working. Is there anybody else that we haven't heard from yet?
Hi, yeah, this is Kit Sayas de la Mora from Montclair State University, and I'm a PhD candidate now studying teacher education and teacher development.
Anybody else would like to introduce themselves? Okay, we've also got Cornelia Okraski, whose mic is also not working. So hopefully we'll be able to get some of these things, some of these tech issues figured out. But if not, you can continue to send in comments, questions, etc. through the chat window throughout. We'll have, between Linda, Lindsay, and I, will be monitoring that throughout. So I just turned off my mic while I was talking. I'm going to go ahead and get started with the presentation. We've got a few slides to go through. Hopefully this will only take 15 or 20 minutes. We're going to hand off throughout so that you're not just hearing from me. And then after we get through the slides, as I said before, we will have a period for question and answers. If any questions come up while we're doing the slide presentation, please go ahead and feel free to send them via the chat window. I am going to try to share my screen now. That is what made my computer crash before, though, so this is a little bit suspenseful. Okay. So can everybody see my screen? Okay. So as hopefully you all know when you signed up for this, this is the first official onboarding webinar for the AERA Division K Graduate Student Campus Liaisons program. This program is brand new this year. We started talking about it on the Graduate Student Executive Board last year and decided to go ahead and launch this year. This program is based off of a program that Division G has been working on for a few years. And the goal of the program is for graduate students at the various institutions that participate in AERA to become more involved with the division and to help the other graduate students at their campuses become more involved with the division. The program, we envision it as a way for you all to learn more about the work of the division and the work of AERA, to have some opportunities to network with one another, and also to have some opportunities for professional development and ongoing learning. I do want to thank all of you for your persistence in showing up today. We realized rather late that we had a typo in the email address for this, so thank you for sticking with us, and we're glad to have you here. Okay. So I'm going to start off just by talking a little bit about Division K and how we see our work, especially under the current leadership. And then I'm going to hand it off to Glenda and Lindsay, and they're going to talk about the Campus Liaisons program more specifically. So AERA Division K is the division that is focused on teaching and teacher education. Division K is divided up into 10 or 12 subgroups, I believe. So when you apply, like if you were to propose something to AERA Division K, you have to pick one of those, one of the sections that you're proposing to. We are the largest division of AERA, for whatever that's worth, but we always say it. Our members explore research on a range of teaching and teacher development that spans pre-service through induction and in-service professional development. We think about teaching and teacher education very broadly, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a moment. Our current division vice president is Dr. Kathy Schultz, who is at CSU Boulder. She's the dean there. And under her leadership, our divisional foci include diversifying our membership and our research topics, partnering with teachers in really intentional ways to strengthen educational praxis, promoting criticality in classrooms, and working for social justice through strengthening the teaching profession. And those last two are, I think, really central to the division's mission, is that we see our work on teaching and teacher education as essential for making schools, schooling and classrooms more just spaces for all kids. We have kind of three big buckets of work. If you visit our website, you'll see more information on each of these. So obviously, teaching and teacher education, they're right there in the title of the division. So teaching, the way that we think about that as a division is that research on teaching draws from and directly impacts the field, and that we need to think about teaching as comprised of a constellation of practices that include social linguistic, scientific, political, historical and artistic practices. So teaching isn't like one really tightly defined thing. We really want to think about that work broadly, and that we feel as a division that research on teaching has to take on these diverse lenses in order to explore the complexity and the interdisciplinarity of the work of teaching that happens in classrooms. With respect to teacher education, as a division, we focus on our commitment to preparing teachers who foster successful and critically conscious students. And we're committed to teacher education as an act of social justice. So as I said before, that the divisional emphasis that teaching and teachers make a difference, and that we are here as educators and researchers to support that. Our research on teacher education aims to inform recruitment, retention, preparation, induction, and development across the spectrum of the teaching profession. So as I said before, we try to think about teaching and teacher education pretty broadly. Try to build a big tent to invite people who have a lot of different perspectives inside. This last section, which I believe is new under Dr. Schultz's leadership, this teacher research partnership. So we think of the division thinks of teachers as researchers and as partners with us who engage in inquiry cycles, ways of seeing, collecting data, and iterating individually or alongside university researchers to strengthen critical thought in ourselves and the students we guide. So research isn't just something that happens in the ivory tower. We need to be really closely linked to classrooms and to the people who practice there. And we need to do work for and with them in order to improve the profession. And we care a lot about the intersection of practice and research as we see it as having the potential to be a catalyst for transformation in education. So at this point, I am going to hand it off to Glenda, and she is going to introduce the Campus Liaisons program and talk a little bit about what it entails.
Okay, so for the Graduate Student Campus Liaisons program, we have 3 things here, but of course it can grow, and we're looking forward to your feedback on what you guys can contribute to what we're doing. You went back a slide, Rebecca. Getting involved, first of all, it gives you the opportunity to get involved in a division. So it's not just this big thing at AERA. You kind of get to be a part of this community of teaching and of other students and scholars who are in teaching and teacher education, an opportunity for leadership and service. So something I think that's major for a lot of us PhD students is service at our institution and service outside of our institution. So it gives us that opportunity. And then also to connect with other grad students and scholars across institutions. So those are 3 of our main things. And then we have a few goals to support the engagement of graduate students at your home institution. So when you look at the packet, you'll see that we kind of suggested programs and different activities that you could do with other students on your campus. Also to foster a professional community of emerging scholars oriented toward the goal of strengthening teaching and teacher education that promotes social justice and equity. So along the lines, same things of what Rebecca was just saying. And our focal areas are to create an increased Division K's presence at your institution, to develop professional networks among Division K grad students across institutions, and then also to support grad students, members' research efforts and participate in Division K events, sessions, and programs. So if you all recently were on our blog page, you may have seen that we have a poster session. So that's one way that we want to support students in their research and their goals and whatever they're trying to pursue in teaching and teacher education. So I will now hand it off to Lindsay.
Great. So this slide and the next one kind of just get a little bit more specific about responsibilities. So for campus liaisons. So just to read through these, and then I'll share an example with you all. Campus liaisons should be sharing information and resources about Division K and about AERA as a whole, to hopefully host events to support graduate students through both professional development and time for socialization, which could be done one and the same. And to connect with other Division K graduate students through reaching out to other campus liaisons or Division K graduate student executive board members, or reaching out during the annual meeting. So just to kind of give you an example of an event that kind of covered professional development and socialization, there's examples in the packet of this event specifically, the flyer. So here at LSU, we held a How to AERA before the conference in April. And we asked faculty members and some more senior graduate students to kind of speak about their tips and experiences with the conference. So it's really informative for grad students to get to know about the conference, and then as a way of who's going to the conference, and just to star and light. There we go. And I guess the overall goal here is just to build community and awareness, and through sharing these resources and hosting events. So to get even more specific, on our next slide, so here's some resources as kind of jumping off points for you to promote the division and hosting events as a means of gathering interested colleagues. Both the first two, the Voices from the Field and the podcast series, they could be used to begin a meeting or to open a discussion. And there's no real prescribed formula here. Kind of as Rebecca was mentioning, that we're all new to this position, but if whatever you kind of can create and take advantage of these resources, we would really love to hear back about how you utilize them. And so the Teacher X Research Spotlight provides some ideas for engagement specifically in the classroom to build community engagement, and just as a means to reach out to classroom teachers and school communities. And then the last one is outreach projects. And right now, Division K is going to be sponsoring a free little library project. Proposals are due this Friday, and there's more information on the website listed at the top there if you or you know somebody who might be interested in turning in a proposal. So after all that, if anyone wants to jump in with a question, we can start there.
So we're going to have about, we've got a good chunk of time, about 20 or 25 minutes for question and answers. We can take questions via the chat window. Lindsay's going to facilitate the question and answer session, so you can send questions to her via the chat window, or if you would prefer to just jump in and ask yourself, that's totally fine as well. Just don't forget to unmute yourself when you're trying to ask your question.
Okay, so that's a good place to start. I think it says Sam. Sam has asked, what is the application process for becoming a campus liaison?
Okay, that is a great question. Right now, the application process consists of visiting the AERA Division K website, which is that Weebly address that is in the packet. I will also share it again at the end of this webinar. But you go there, and I know that you can access the form under the Get Involved tab. I believe you can now also access the form under the Campus Liaisons tab. But go there, fill out your information, and as long as you are a Division K member or become a Division K member when you renew your AERA membership this year, you will be a campus liaison for this academic year. We're going to be reaching out to everyone who participates in this webinar, as well as everybody whose information we've received via the forms. We'll be reaching out to you by next Monday to confirm that you want to participate. But as long as you say you want to and you're a Division K member, we are happy to have you.
Great. We can keep moving through this list here. So what is an anticipated weekly time commitment?
Okay. I think the anticipated time commitment is based upon the activities or the programs that you choose to put on at your institution. So it all depends on what your goals are. So we can kind of we can help you think through those things, and we've suggested some ideas. But the only other commitment that I could think of, other than what your programs are maybe quarterly. We'll kind of just check in with you all to see how things are going and what's going on your campus. So it varies.
We would like to ask that everybody commit to hosting at least 1 or 2 activities across the academic year. But as Glenda said, those can be as involved as you choose to make them.
Okay, this next question says, are printed resources available for distribution, or are we responsible for copying any materials as needed?
Yeah, and unfortunately, because we're spread out across so many campuses, any print materials that you'll need, I mean, we can send you files for stuff, but you'll have to do your any copying that you need. We, within the division and the executive board, we can communicate a lot via email and do a lot of work together that way. So anything that you can do to limit the amount of copying you have to make, we're fine with that.
Is there a way we can find out if there's already a liaison on our campus?
If there are liaisons, it will probably be Division G. Division K, we don't have any so far, so you all will be the first class of campus liaisons that we have for Division K. So there are none, and you will be it.
And next question reads, is there going to be a meeting scheduled at AERA in April?
That's a great question. We've actually been talking a lot about this on the executive board, about the grad student executive board, about how we're going to handle that. So every year at AERA, Division K has a business meeting and we have a happy hour, and we're going to be inviting campus liaisons to that. There has also been some talk about doing some sort of campus liaison get together. We haven't worked out the details on that or heard any confirmation about when that might happen. There has also been talk at the recent AERA Graduate Student Council organizing meeting. They were talking about having, like, on your name badges, you know how at AERA some people have like special ribbons or whatever to denote their different roles within the organization. We've been talking about the possibility, looking into the possibility of doing something like that for the campus liaisons, because we want you guys to be recognized for the work that you do. We also want you to be able to find each other in AERA, since it is supposed to be a networking opportunity. But we will have more information as we get closer to the conference about what exactly those opportunities are going to look like.
All right, lots of great questions rolling in here. Can this be a joint position where 2 liaisons work together from the same university? I would think absolutely. Like, share. Anybody?
I
Yes,
was thinking the same thing. Yeah.
Gosh. All right, I'll sit in the dark. The next question says, can we have a registry or contact information so we could check in with each other? So I think that, again, yes, definitely we should be sharing once we compile a list. We can go ahead and share that with everyone here. And so that kind of feeds off of another question that says, will you send an email with the link as follow-up so we can respond if we're interested? So yes, by Monday, we will follow up with everyone who is interested.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add to that, if you are somebody who joined this webinar because you saw the flyer about it, but you haven't yet visited the AERA website, We'll have our divisional email up at the end of this conference call so that you can email us and make sure that we have your contact information. Lindsay, you're muted.
Do liaisons serve for a full academic year as long as they wish? How does that work?
Rebecca, I'm going to let you answer that question.
So at this point, liaisons will serve for this academic year. Most of the Division K graduate student positions, actually, I think all of the Division K graduate student positions are 2-year commitments. So this is one of those things, because this is a brand new program, we'll probably need to check in with you all at the closer to the end of this academic year to get your feedback on that. But plan to at least serve as liaison through the end of this year, with a strong possibility that we'll ask you to stay on for next year if you're still available.
I think that's all the questions we've received in the chat so far. Does anyone else want to just ask a question without the chat, or just want to verbally ask?
Okay, well, if you do have another question that you would like to ask, feel free to jump in or to type it in the chat. I do want to make sure that we share some other information with you before we go today. So in terms of if you do decide to serve as a campus liaison for this year, like you said, we said a couple of times, we'll be reaching out to you by next Monday to get confirmation on that. If you choose to serve in that role, we do want to make sure that you know who you should contact. So you can always contact the outreach team via the Division K email, which is AERA Division K grads @gmail.com, and I'll post that for everybody to see here in a few minutes. But you can email us that way. You can also, if you had already contacted us via either email or via the website form, you should have received an informational packet that has a lot more information about the Campus Liaisons program. It has some suggestions for different kinds of programming you might take on your campuses. It also has contact information for the outreach team. So for me, Glenda, and Lindsay, we just ask that if you choose to email our personal email addresses, that's totally fine. Just make sure you email all 3 of us so that we can all 3 stay in the loop on what's going on. And that whether you email our personal email addresses or the AERA Division K email address, put Campus Liaisons in the subject header so that we can pick your email out easily. Lindsay, do we have some more questions coming in?
Yes. Do we have data on current Division K members? Like how many members are from certain universities, or how many members are present at AERA?
We are in the process of trying to get that information. There are listservs of all Division K members that we're trying to get access to. There is also a plan in the works to create a listserv of just graduate student members so we can have a better understanding of who our graduate student constituency are. The information exists right now. It's just a matter of getting it into our hands.
Thank you. I just asked questions, so I just wanted to say thank you. Yeah.
I did also want to say that in terms of the programming that you put on, as you'll see in the informational packet, and if you didn't receive the informational packet via email, we'll send that out when we send it next week. It's also available on our division website on the Campus Liaisons page, or if it's not, it will be within the next couple of days. But there are a number of suggestions in there for the kinds of activities you might want to hold. You're in no way bound by those suggestions. We just wanted to make sure that because this is a new program, that people could get an idea of the kinds of things we're thinking of. You'll notice that there are a lot of brown bags in those suggestions, and that is because we do not currently have funding to offer you for events. So any events that you do decide to hold, you should make sure that they are no cost or very, very low cost. We are exploring options for getting some kind of budget related to Campus Liaisons, but if that happens, it's definitely not going to happen this year. So just keep that in mind when you're planning your programming. There's still a lot you can do for free, especially using the resources that we keep on the website. But we do want to be really upfront about that. We are also, once we send out once we have our list of who our campus liaisons are, we'll share all that contact information with you. And we really strongly encourage you to reach out to other campuses in your area. If they have campus liaisons, to reach out to them and maybe collaborate on some events. That could be a good way to get some like regional networking done. If they don't, if you notice that, I'm the only one within 50 miles, I'm the only campus liaison within 50 miles, we absolutely encourage you to reach out to campuses that don't have campus liaisons and share information about the division and the program. Because again, the goal of this program is to make the division more available and more accessible to as many graduate students as we possibly can. So, Linda or Lindsay, is there anything that you can think of that we haven't covered?
I just kind of wanted to say, in this position, it's a great time to be creative, especially when you're thinking about the fact that you're trying to keep costs down. Some of the things that I've done here that prior to being in Division K was we did a writing retreat where we bought cupcakes and we just wrote together. So it was like a retreat. And another thing that we're actually doing this evening is we're doing a fall into success, and we die cut some leaves, and we're going to just turn over a new leaf, like kind of write a goal on it, but it'll be a mixer. So there's some like creative things, and I know that most of us are coming from the field of teacher education. Some of us are elementary school teachers, former elementary school teachers. So I mean, I know that you all have those creative brains, and use them. It's a good place for it, a good space for it.
Okay, so unless there are any other questions, we can go ahead and wrap up. I do just want to make sure that everybody sees our correct contact information. So if you would like to email the division, our email address is here. It's aeradivisionkgrads@gmail.com. And our division website is aeradivisionk.weebly.com. You can find more information about the Campus Liaisons program by visiting the website and going to the Campus Liaisons tab. If you have any particular questions that come up, you can email that divisional address. Just put Campus Liaisons in the subject header so that they know to forward it to the outreach team. Also, as I said before, if you have not already filled out the online form, please either fill out the online form, which is it's on the website. Please fill that out sometime this week, or you can email the Division K Gmail address and just let us know that you're interested. At the end of this week or over this weekend, we're going to put together an email to everyone whose contact information we have to verify that you would still like to participate as a campus liaison this year, and also to check in with you about what your initial ideas are for what you might do in that role. I forgot to mention before that one of the things that we do at the business meeting every year is we highlight the activities of the division. So one thing that we're going to want to highlight this year is what our campus liaisons have been up to. So we'll want to hear from you about what you're thinking and if there's anything, any information or any resources that we can support you with getting access to. So unless there are any other questions.
We have one more
You're
question.
Okay.
We have one more question that came in briefly about how to become an AERA member. So what's the process if we're not? I put the link here, but and I'm going to let Rebecca or Glenda take over in a second. But I know that some universities have a graduate student cohort, and I got our dean to get us one. It just benefits the students to form the community and benefits financially when you go to pay for the membership and to pay for the conference. So there's a list on the AERA website.
To piggyback off of Lindsay, when you do go in and become a member and you go through the process, you'll have to choose like division. So of course, Division K will be a great division to choose. And you also can choose SIGs, which are special interest groups. But after so many, they charge you extra for them. So just, be aware of like the amount that you can choose before they charge you extra. And again, to second what Lindsay said, there is a graduate student cohort, and that's to increase membership of AERA across institutions. So I know the first year for sure they discount your price. I don't know if they do it for the second year, but that is something you can ask your dean about.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, I haven't actually renewed my membership for this year, so I can't remember off the top of my head what the cost is. There is a discount for graduate student members, whether or not you're a part of a cohort, but you should check with your home schools if you have a cohort at your institution, and that can get you a greater discount, definitely, but also check with your home schools about whether or not they can offer you any financial support towards membership in professional organizations. I know that some schools do that. Another thing that we are looking into as division is providing letters for financial support for institutions. So if you decide to become a campus liaison and you need or want some help with paying the AERA membership dues, we can ask the division to provide a letter to your institution, basically testifying that you are going to be a part of this organization and that your school needs to help you pay for that. So that's not 100%, but it is a way that we can offer some support in that regard. Well, thank you all so much for participating today. We will be in touch, and we really look forward to working with you all this year. We hope that we have answered many of your questions. Any questions that come up after this, you can email the division website or you can email the three of us directly, and we will do our best to get back to you in a timely fashion. But on behalf of Glenda, Lindsay, and myself, thank you for participating today, and we look forward to speaking with you more in the future. Bye.